For many current and aspiring leaders in software development, one of your most critical jobs will be to hire great people, galvanize them into a motivated, hardworking team, and keep them going through ups and downs. We've got some brilliant people who have done this in both the best of times and the worst of times to give you their perspectives and any hints and tips that can help you ride the roller coaster of technical leadership. So today we are talking about how to build amazing teams. What do they look like? How do we maintain them? How do we hire for them, etc., etc. This is a topic that we can really talk about for days endlessly, and we'll do follow-up shows on it. So let's jump straight in. What is the real difference between good, great, and amazing? And let me throw it out to anyone who wants to start talking about that.
Well, I think first, to really define team, it's not just people who come together that do things and then separate. We could define teams like that, but generally it's about people who are interdependent and rely on each other to do really great work, right? So we're doing things together. We have shared knowledge of what that looks like, and we're talking about it openly on a regular basis. So I would say good is we have a shared understanding, but maybe aren't actually doing it on a regular basis. Where great is we're talking about things openly, we're interdependent, we know we can go directly to who is on the team. And I think amazing is doing that on a consistent basis and delivering results on a consistent basis.
Yeah, thanks, Tara. I think I want to emphasize on that part of delivering consistently. That's a very important part of an existence of the team. Team comes together to deliver something. We have a common goal. I think how we judge whether it's an amazing team or a great team or a good team is based on how quickly can we deliver. And so the team is made out of fast thinkers, and then forward thinkers. Like, can we think about upcoming 6 months? Are we seeing it? And also, is there any fear for failure? Like, are we holding us ourselves? Or how focused are we on the quality side? So those key things define whether we are performing as an amazing team or a good team, or just we come together as a team.
Myron, I'm sure you got something to say here, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we were talking in a pre-show about Elon Musk. So Elon Musk says, a company is a group of individuals who get together to do something they believe in. Now, I don't know if that's an actual belief, but I do believe in that philosophy. So it starts with the individual. A good team is a team of people who are getting together, typically like within the same craft, to get something done. They're effective, like what you were saying, Divya. They're effective, they get things done, and they don't fail typically. Like they can get moderate success. A great team is a team that is cross-functional, interdependent, like what you were saying, Tara. Like, they feed off of each other and they grow and they learn, and there's some cross-pollination. They understand what's necessary for the thing that they're doing to work, so they pitch in. An amazing team is like an A team. They come from different specialties. They come together and they focus on what needs to be done. But when they get together, kind of like a special forces team, they learn to do amazing, impossible things together, like from that point on. So if there's an engineer and a designer, when they get together and they learn how to make design systems and scale them. That is an amazing team.
Joseph, you've been building teams in various different countries. Do you see a difference between those sorts of definitions?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I'm taking notes here quietly because I think Tara and Divya and Myron all had way better answers than I was going to just mumble out with. So, I'm just kind of happy to be here. But I think there's a couple of things to think about it, right? I think those are all absolutely true. But I think, to me, an amazing team goes through all of those journeys multiple times over. So if you have like a specialist team in tech, right, like what makes an amazing team that's, let's say, a really specialized technical delivery team or like an SRE type team, right? They're amazing because their jobs don't really change all that much. They're doing that same kind of thing, and just kind of like being like a marathon runner, you hit your stride and you know how to do it. You know how to run the same every single day. And it's not necessarily a matter of can you run or how do you run? It's just when do I kind of get to my stride and have that perfect kind of, moment of performance. And that's with like a very mature team. I on my side of the fence have run more kind of chaos driven teams, right? Starting from either like building from zero or, standing up a new function in a different part of the world. And so, you'll have this one part of the team have this really immature, brand new kind of, hey, where's the bathroom kind of like new people on board. And then you have this other mix of people that are veterans, seasoned, really know how to do it. And maybe they kind of have like that kind of specialist role, And so I think, at least in my side of the fence, I think all those things can be true. And I see those things kind of run multiple times over. Or, in my case, because my side of technology changes just so frequently, so quickly all the time. You can be an expert one day, and then the next minute you're suddenly completely brand new, completely green in this brand new thing. And you've got to figure out how to become an expert faster than everyone else realizes you're not. And so I think that, your kind of basic things around being kind of clear alignment and purpose, right? Like a clear collaboration, clear ability to communicate, right? Like, can we give each other, critical feedback in a way that's respectful and productive? Those are all the kind of hallmarks of a really great team. And I think you see those things really early on. And those are the things that kind of lead to those kind of buzzwords around collaboration and, working to a high standard and all those things. But I think my perspective is just that every team goes through this cycle all the time. And I've yet to see one that just is always locked in at one state or the other. And I think that's where sometimes maybe the messaging gets lost, but I think that's inherently a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, actually, rarely have I considered a great team or an amazing team too much around exactly what they are delivering. Whether they're delivering the thing that they were meant to, at least for me personally, is almost beside the point. Because I've always felt like an amazing team is a group of people who will surprise you, who will do things you didn't even think of. You didn't even consider that they were even capable of doing this thing or thinking this way. And it's a group of people who can almost self-sustain. And so anytime I've led a group, particularly in the early days when it was just one team or two teams, when as a leader, if you can move off, if you can disappear, and that team is even better, that's always like the hallmark to me of a group of people who really have their shit together and who know what they're doing and who will excel. And there's always someone or some persons in the team who will step up and move forward. And it's almost like a self-sustaining perpetual motion machine at that point. Right. And that's kind of what I've always seen as an amazing team who doesn't need the management aspect of the team. It's a group who will just constantly surprise you with what they can come up with, what they can invent, and how they can go forward.
I think that's absolutely the hallmark of a great leader or a great manager, right? The old saying goes, being a good leader isn't when you leave, everything goes to shit and you're this kind of like, dependable employee that can't possibly be lost. The mark of a good leader is when you leave or you go on vacation, everything runs just fine. People forget that you were gone, right? Like that's the mark of a true leader, that you build these kind of teams and these sustainable systems that function without your physical presence, right? Or without your daily presence. And that's a good thing. And then in engineering, right? Like I think the kind of negative appearance of that is, you have the creation of what I call Atlas engineers, and they're the engineers that think the weight of the world's on their shoulders and that they can't possibly take a break. They're these kind of like hallmark members that if they go on vacation, the whole thing explodes. And that to me is the mark of a very bad situation and a very bad team, right? And so absolutely agree with your point there that like the mark of a good leader is that things function and go on and in fact improve without you being there, because you've done the hard yards to set up frameworks, to set up kind of like the right paths forward for your team to go without you necessarily having to be, in the front pulling them along.
Tara, you are
Yeah,
you're a leadership
really,
coach. Let me
I love
turn it
that.
over to
Yeah. I actually want to highlight that point, the building and the cultivating, because I think there's a lot of people who believe that, oh, if I just hire great people, then I'm a great leader. And there's so much work that goes into before I can go on vacation, before I leave, that these systems have been built, that I have invested in the people that I work with, that we are clear about when it's great, when it's not great, how do we improve. I'm constantly asking questions. I am constantly showing the way that I think. I am asking how their weekend was, not because it's the top of the hour and it's a great way to start a meeting. It's because I genuinely care about what is going on. And I hope that, especially in this time where we have had so much go on over the last 2 years, that people really are taking more stock of the people that they work with, because the lines are blurred. And so it's really important that I think leaders are taking into account that building great teams isn't just hiring great people who will know what to do. It really does take someone with hands-on in it experience to make sure that people are coming along with them, because that is one of the definitions of leadership, is that someone's following you. But really, it's more that you're influencing in the right way and you're not manipulating.